Hello, YouTube. I'm Rob, and this, as you know now, is Carlos. And we are Arrowhead YGO. Today, we're coming at you with yet another discussion video. Today, about the differences between winning against a certain deck and beating a certain deck. Now, I know that sounds like the same thing, winning and beating them. You winning and beating them sounds like the exact same thing. And in the end, yes. The difference is how you get there. Winning against a deck is using cards that further your game state to help you win. While beating is playing cards that stop your opponent from playing. So, as a prime example, because they're the new deck, let's talk about Nekroz. Winning against Nekroz, you would side in Shared Ride because it helps further your game state, helps further you on winning. Beating them is playing Mistake. It essentially does the same thing as Shared Ride would, but now it just completely shuts down what they're doing, but doesn't give you a plus.
Not one at all. When I play my Senju deck, I'm definitely beating my opponents.
And when I play Noble Knights, I'm winning against them.
Because I play stuff like False Dino. That's a floodgate card against special summoning. That's really good against the meta. That's beating down on the meta.
While me playing Noble Knights, being able to play things like, Medrot to help bring out your monster boars to search out shit. Also siding in 3 Shared Ride for my MSTs when I go up against Nekroz helps me gain advantage for them going 1-for-1. They pitch Brionic, add 1. That's 1-for-1. But then I get to draw. So I went +1. So
after the first one.
No, they pitch Brionic, chain Shared Ride before the search.
Oh, okay.
They add because the pitch is a cost. It's that cost activation.
Right.
You chain Shared Ride.
Right. Well,
they add a card to the hand, then you search, then you draw.
Wouldn't it just be a 1-for-1 if you only got 1 draw out of it?
Yeah, true, but still.
Right. That's what I was trying to say.
Still, yeah. So I word there wrong. But either way, then they would either A, stop searching, which is great, or B, they keep going and you plus like a motherfucker.
It's like playing Max C.
Yeah, it's like Max C. You play Max C so you can gain advantage and at the same time give them incentive to stop what they're doing.
Oh yeah. So when it comes to beating, let's talk about Satellar's. Satellar's is a good deck I love to beat down on. I use stuff like Summit Limit and Light Imprisoning Mirror.
It stops them. It doesn't actually give you any sort of advantage, but usually a card that beats as opposed to help you win hurts them more.
Right.
But you don't gain any foreseeable plus, while winning against them gives you a plus.
The reason why I choose to go beating over winning is because it just flows with the deck easy. It flows easier with my deck. You can tell why you choose winning over beating.
Yeah. Well, just because I play a very aggressive style, the more cards I have in my hand, the more cards I can use. The more outs I will have to whatever they try to beat me with. Like Nekroz, he plays Unicorn. I drew into a Dristin. He's not an extra deck monster. I don't got to special summon him. Nothing. So there went Unicorn. And now, let's say I drew Caliburn. That put Brio at... Not Brio. I got... say, he's just such a focal point. I accidentally said Brio. But Dristin is at 2,300 now. It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good attack power.
Oh,
and he just popped your Unicorn.
Oh, yeah. You Senjus, since the cards go back to your hand at the end of the turn, you don't want to have too many cards in your hand after you play your send your monsters.
Otherwise, you'll have to keep discarding shit.
Right. So that's why instead of trying to plus harder, because I'm most likely going to draw multiple copies of you send you monsters, because like I don't want to have all 3 copies of all 3 of my monsters in hands. That's just a waste. I'd rather have those in later if I have to play the late game. So instead of trying to win this matchup, I'm going to beat my opponent down, and I'm going to make it that the resources I have is what I need to keep beating on them while they can't do most of their plays.
And another good way to keep that from happening, like say you played comma 1, comma 2, and somehow, and like you ended up getting another copy of each. Comma 1, comma 2, do their effects, and then XZ with them, so you keep a monster on board,
Right.
do some sort of thing with it, and you don't
Right, of
hit
course.
your hand limit and have to discard shit.
Right, of course.
So, really, there's no set one that's better. It all depends on what kind of deck you're playing. The more stun your deck is, the more beat cards you're going to play. Things like Vanity's Emptiness, D-Fissure, Macrocosmos, that kind of stuff. The more stun you are, the more the deck is focused on beating the opponent. Also, beating them is playing things like D-Prison, which really good fucking card. But a winning version of a card that does the same thing as D-Prison, but this time focuses on you winning, would be Memory of an Adversary, where you take some damage, banish their monster, but then you get their monster, and it doesn't target. So that is the winning version of D-Prison, and it doesn't target, as I think I just said that, right?
Yeah, you said that.
So it doesn't target, so that's really good too. There's a whole bunch of examples of this. Things that do the same thing, but one is focused more on beating the opponent, while one is more focused on advancing your game state, making your plays better, while doing a little bit of the same thing as the beat one, like Shared Ride and Mistake. They both essentially stop your opponent from searching, but Shared Ride doesn't make them, it makes them want to. While Mistake just says, fuck you, you can't. So, let us know what you think in the comment section below. Which one would you rather? Would you rather beat your opponent, or would you rather win? Make them lose, would you rather make them lose, or would you rather win? Same end game, but how you go about it. So, let us know in the comment section below what you think, how you prefer to play your decks. And I'm going to hit that thumbs up, subscribe.
Okay.
Rob,
Carlos.
we're Arrowhead YGO, signing out.